Joining us now with stories trending around the world is been by Mutinhiri Ekpenyong. Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. Good morning, Ayo. Good morning, Rufi Fire. Very passionate about a good cause. So Moroccans do keep oppressing us in African football.
Real quick, Dr. Abati, you said football shouldn't
because this is what's trending.
You said football shouldn't cause war. And we know it's a game of peace. But do you know?
Well, two countries once fought war.
El Salvador and Honduras because of football, because of qualifiers.
Exactly.
So that's why Morocco should be careful for what they have done.
Yeah.
But in any case, what is important? It's not the size of the punishment. It's the principle of it. And the fact that CAF is upholding the principle about proper conduct, fair play, and integrity.
Yes, and accountability. All right, well, on that very sporty note, let's get straight into what's trending. Today, we kick off with the 2023 presidential candidate, Peter Obi, who took to the streets of Abuja from Abaji to Kwali, Zuba, Gwagwalada, and Amak in the lead up to the February 21st FCT local government elections to show support for the African Democratic Congress ADC candidates in those constituencies. Walking through the streets of the various local government areas with his supporters, he engaged with citizens and listened to their concerns, as he declared that he is not scared and that he is in this election to change the lives of our children.
Nigeria. Let nobody make you do so. I'm not here. I'm not scared of anybody. And for me, I'm in this election. We must have a better Nigeria for our children.
Well, meanwhile, the ADC has unveiled a 50-member Wise Men and Women Policy and Manifesto Committee to be chaired by Chief John Odigi Oyegun, with Professor Pat Utomi as the deputy chair. However, the main conversation here is, can Peter Obi secure the ADC presidential ticket? We can see the goodwill on the ground. We can see that the numbers came out for him in the FCT yesterday. So a lot of conversation happening around that. Dr. Abati, I'll come to you first.
Well, I mean, straight up, Mr. Peter Obi has made it clear that, the greatness of Nigeria is possible with P and O in capital letters. And he has been very consistent that he's in this business of politics, of leading Nigeria to serve the people, to improve the welfare of the people. And he has every legitimate right to say so, whether it is in the south or it is on the streets of Abuja, FCT, where they are having elections, municipal elections there, in the FCT. So what I do not agree with is some people saying they are in a position to dictate who should become the candidate when the primaries come up. He's in the ADC, and he has also made it clear that he's going to run to win, particularly at the primaries level. But there are other contestants. The only concern about people is the rhetoric coming from Obidient. The person is called Obidient, who has almost been as magisterial, judgmental as some other persons involved in the matter, saying that it must be Peter Obi by force. In a democratic process, you cannot dictate the outcome of a process. And I would just say, the people in the ADC and also the members of the Obidient movement should know that politics is also, about respecting the rights of other people, to make a free choice. Either within the party, we should have internal democracy, or in the general field where the rights of the people to choose should be respected.
Absolutely. I know there were also some concerns that maybe the Obi factor of 2023 had died down, and some of these visuals, making people question whether that's really the reality, although it's just FCT. But that conversation is still happening there, whether the Obi factor can sweep through the same way it did in 2023. Ayo.
All right. So let me just say that every single election from now till the main elections in 2027 is going to be important, critical and a show of just how much political muscle and power that each individual or each candidate carries. And of course, the conversation has been around since the defection formally from the Labour Party to the ADCs, that can Peter Obi work the magic he did. Because whether we like it or not, the Labour Party was almost non-existent before he came with his Obidient movement, re-energized the party, and actually came third according to INEC's release of results at the last presidential elections. That was a massive feat for anyone to achieve. And so the big question is that if he's able to achieve this, would the ADC look at the potential for their chances at winning or clinching that presidential slot during the elections of 2027 and put this into consideration with him getting the ticket? Against big heavyweights like Atiku, you've brought Rotimi Amechi a number of times. You've been pushing it. Let's not forget
not
him.
Pushing it.
No, not pushing it, but like you always remind us
yes,
that there's another person. Also,
because he fought a good fight in the last.
And whether we like it or not,
primary.
he also has his own political clout. So just to mention that this is a big show, that Peter Obi still has the a magic touch with his people. He's still in touch with the Obidient, and maybe this might be the upsets that a number of the coalitions are looking forward to come 2027. Let's see how he consolidates on this.
All right.
Well, I don't like to get ahead of myself.
Yeah.
Number one, Obi still has his touch, but I don't think it will impact his local council elections in Abuja because elections are local. If ADC does not have a strong candidate on ground and you think because Obi went there to campaign, nothing will happen. No. Obi equally went to campaign for Mogalu that has now left the Labour Party in Anambra State. After using the Labour Party, nothing still happened. So let's not delude ourselves. I'll tell you the pure facts. Secondly, as regards the obedience saying is Obi or not, and Dr. Abati, you can't be judge or begrudge a group of persons for having a firm mindset of support. Yes, that's democracy. If it doesn't go their way afterwards, they will see what is on ground. But you cannot say that they have the right not to be able to toot their candidate. People will toot their candidates. There's no how.
In politics, you will have divergence view and interests. Your ability to bring them together and make them see reason into the pathway is the most important thing. All the Obidient movement is saying is that we need good governance in this country. And we are not dilly-dallying about it. It's a quest and it's a demand for us. So anybody who wants to take over power from the existing situation where hunger, decay in the system, lack of respect, insecurity, should use the energy of the Obidient movement. We are there for everybody to take. If you are interested in winning election, this is no time for you to be looking down on the Obidient movement. You should use the strength of the Obidient movement to win elections. These are youths. These are young technocrats. These are determined individuals. These are people who have stood firm that say, look, we want to change the narrative in this country. And so therefore, if that energy is what is going to propel us into winning, I think it's supposed to be a plus. So anybody who believe in a new Nigeria, that want to change in Nigeria, the Obidient movement is there for you to use as an energy to win the election. So therefore, we should leverage on the energy of the Obidient movement to win this election. And don't forget, they are everywhere, including the presidency. In politics, you will have divergence view and interests. Your ability to bring them together and make them see reason into the pathway is the most important thing. And I believe His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, will do justice to that. It is expected that all Obidient should come together and rally round because we need to win this election. So all of us must be seen to be working together under one umbrella. If there are differences, we'll call ourselves as brothers and sisters and settle the differences and negotiate to ensure that we give full support to the candidate that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is supporting. That was the reason why we've been crying long before now that His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi is the person that they are targeting, because they want to make sure that he does not have a ticket to run. But I can say there's a lot of political parties, but here Mr. Peter Obi, as a Democrat and a collective person, is interested in a larger entity, and so he has moved into a group of people cut across the Federal Republic of Nigeria because of the interest of Nigerian people. So that shows that he's not a selfish person. And so they have decided to bring back the Labour Party. All well and good. Don't be surprised the Labour Party may also be in the coalition, because this is just a coalition of individuals. There may still be a coalition of political parties. The author Nwankwo, those who lost their life at NSAS, those who lost their life in the struggle for democracy, making sure that Nigeria is a very good society that all of us can be happy about. That is the core energy of the Obidient movement. All the Obidient movement is saying is that we need good governance in this country. And we are not dilly-dallying about it. It's a quest and it's a demand for us. So anybody who wants to take over power from the existing situation where hunger, decay in the system, no lack of respect, insecurity, should use the energy of the Obidient movement. We are there for everybody to take. If you are interested in winning election, this is no time for you to be looking down on the Obidient movement. You should use the strength of the Obidient movement to win elections. These are youths. These are young technocrats. These are determined individuals. These are people who have stood firm that say, look, we want to change the narrative in this country. And so therefore, if that energy is what is going to propel us into winning, I think it's supposed to be a plus. So anybody who believe in a new Nigeria, that want to change in Nigeria, the Obidient movement is there for you to use as an energy to win the election. So therefore, we should leverage on the energy of the Obidient movement to win this election. And don't forget, they are everywhere, including the presidency.
Tell us, how do you see Peter Obi as a candidate for president in Nigeria?
Well, as the national coordinator of the Obidient movement worldwide, I see Peter Obi as a unifier. Every position he takes with concerns about Nigeria, he stands in the interest of protecting everybody. Whether you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, as long as you are Nigerian, Peter Obi wants to protect your interests. And that makes it easier for us as Northerners, as Nigerians, to believe in the candidature of Mr. Peter Obi. He represents the unification that Nigerians are looking for. He never deviates from the interest, whether you are a Northerner or you are a Southerner. And that is what we need in Nigeria, a pious leader who can change the narrative of our country.
That's true, because Nigeria was lately in the news. Even the US President Donald Trump was mentioning the killing of Christians in Nigeria. So how would Peter Obi as a president handle this problem?
Because he noticed that in this kind of situation, it's a genocide against Nigeria generally. Guns are being procured, bombs and pictures are being sent. Northerners or Southerners in Nigeria don't produce guns. Somebody must be importing them. So anybody who wants to help Nigeria, you should cut the supply and Nigeria will be at peace. And a person like Peter Obi is saying that everybody is concerned. Let's stop the killing. Every life matters, irrespective of a Muslim or a Christian. But the most important thing, every lives matter, and it must stop now. And that is what he's promoting.
Every lives matter. This is a nice promise. Thank you very much, Professor.
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let me use the words of Mr. Peter Obi exactly. He said there is a national challenge in the country at the moment, and it requires clarity, it requires courage, and it requires decisive action to be able to wrestle and rescue Nigeria back into the Committee of Nations. Unfortunately, against those who have benefited from the democratic setting, who now have conspired against the states, enjoying it with a stolen mandate. So you see, majority of the thing that has been considered was the issue of unification and ensuring that the country is secured, whereby you have a candidate that have the capacity, consistency, with compassion to lead the country, considering the simple fact also that you need a unifier, somebody who has the determination and the zeal in putting Nigeria into the right perspective, somebody who has the managerial capacity, who can manage wealth, who can reject the system back into life, with ensuring that every institution of Nigerian political terrain is back into action. And we see it in His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi. And there's a saying that says that you can be forgiven for making mistake, but you cannot be forgiven for keeping quiet. So therefore, it has become important for our gladiators in the political system to come together to fight for the soul of Nigeria so that democracy that has already been triumphing in the country will not be put in danger. So those are the basic factors that are being considered in ensuring that we work together as a team.